Imagine carrying a baby for a rich couple, only to fall in love with the husband and then discovering the wife never wanted the child. Margaret was tired, tired of struggling, tired of counting every naira, tired of watching her dreams slowly slip away. Every day felt like the same. Wake up, worry, survive, and repeat until one night everything changed. Scrolling through her phone in the dark, she saw something unusual. Surrogates needed high payments. She paused. Her heart started beating faster. It sounded strange, even risky, but to Margaret, it felt like an escape. And without overthinking it, she applied. A few days later, she was sitting across a doctor, being asked questions that felt heavier than they sounded. Why would you carry another woman's child? Margaret didn't hesitate because she needed a new life, and this was her only chance. Then she met them, Johnson and his wife, Michelle. They were everything she wanted, and she wasn't. Wealthy, powerful, and untouchable. Their home in Ikoyi was like something out of a dream. Massive rooms, shining chandeliers, everything bright, expensive, and perfect. Johnson welcomed her warmly. He was calm, kind, and reassuring. But Michelle looked at her like she didn't belong there, like she was already a problem. Still, Margaret stayed. She had no choice. Soon the process began, and not long after, she was pregnant. Johnson was relieved, grateful, almost too grateful. He promised her something that sounded like a miracle. 5 million naira after she delivered a healthy baby. To Margaret, that money meant everything. A fresh start, a new beginning. But as the pregnancy grew, so did the tension. Michelle began to change. The little kindness she showed disappeared. Everything Margaret did became wrong. If she cleaned, it was a problem. If she stayed quiet, it was still a problem. The house that once felt like an opportunity started feeling like a trap. But in the middle of all this, Johnson was there, checking on her, protecting her, talking to her like she mattered. And slowly, what started as kindness became something else, something dangerous. Margaret noticed it first. The way he looked at her, the way his voice softened around her. It wasn't normal. It wasn't right. She tried to ignore it, tried to remind herself why she was there. This was business, nothing more. But feelings don't listen, and before she realized it, she was falling too. Quietly, deeply, in a house that wasn't hers, with a man she could never have. But secrets never stay hidden. One night, Michelle found out, and everything exploded. The shouting, the accusations, the anger that had been building for months finally broke loose. Margaret tried to explain. She tried to defend herself, but nothing she said mattered. Even in Michelle's eyes, she had already crossed the line. Then suddenly, Michelle said something no one expected. Something that changed everything. She never wanted the baby. Silence filled the room. Johnson was shocked, confused, angry, but Michelle didn't stop. She reminded him of everything, how she stood by him when he had nothing, how she sacrificed to build the life they now enjoyed. And now he wanted to throw it all away. For who? For Margaret? In that moment, Johnson was torn between his past and what felt like his present, between loyalty and desire. And then he was asked the question no one wants to answer. Choose. Choose between I and Margaret. The room went still. Margaret's heart started pounding. Mitchell waited, and Johnson, he hesitated. But before he could even speak, Margaret stopped him, because deep down she already knew. This wasn't her place. This was never her home. She wasn't a wife. She wasn't a lover. She was just the woman carrying their child. And no matter how real the feelings felt, they were built on something temporary, something fragile. So she made a decision, the hardest one of her life. After the baby, she would leave. No drama, no fighting, just walk away. And finally, the day came. The pain, the fear, the waiting, all leading to one moment. A cry filled the room. A healthy baby girl. She was so healthy, beautiful, everything they had hoped for. But even in that moment of joy, nothing felt simple. Johnson looked at Margaret like he was about to lose something important. Michelle looked at her like she was finally done with her. And then came the final choice. Stay or leave. Take the 5 million naira or walk away. Margaret looked at both of them, at everything she had been through, at everything she had almost lost, and she made her decision. She refused the money because some things cost more than money can ever pay. Peace, self-respect, freedom, and without looking back, she walked away from the house, from the man, from the life that was never truly hers, leaving behind a child that would always remind them of the price of love and the cost of betrayal. So tell me, if you were in Margaret's position, would you have walked away or taken the 5 million naira? I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel because I'll be uploading beautiful and interesting story times. And do well to subscribe. Thank you, beautiful people, for listening to this wonderful story. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.